refugees, so looks to me like a Trump audience. The agenda for today. I wanted to first make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. For instance, up there's a sign that says exit, and then on the door it says not an exit. Not everything is as it seems. I have irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. I'm not an angry asshole. I just have one. Now what that means is I have alternating constipation and diarrhea. But half the time, I don't give a shit. This is supposed to be like self-deprecation. It's more like self-defecation. I think I've hit a low point in my life. The other day, someone caught me attempting to have anal sex with a statue. I think I finally hit rock bottom. Last week, my father gave me a book. This joke's much funnier because my parents are here in the audience. It'd be easy to tell too, because most of the people here are my age. So most likely my father wouldn't look like he was 20. Last week, my father gave me a book called A Father's Legacy. It's a journal of all the adventures of the father. It's supposed to be passed down to the son. And I opened it up and I said, "Dad, this is empty." He said, "Drew, I didn't know your real father." The Oroville Dam, it kind of freaked me out, thinking that this city might be flooded with people from Oroville. You ever eat something like trail mix or, jelly beans, and you pick out the ones you don't like? That is basically Trump's immigration plan. I recently inherited a morgue, but I'm more of a businessman than a mortician, so I think I might turn it into a Build-A-Bear workshop for necrophiliacs. You guys seem to like the dark ones. This is perfect. This is the last event, they weren't as receptive. They're like, "Oh my god," and this one is like, "More." Perfect. I was driving in the car with my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, this song is fucking terrible, turn it off." She's like, "Drew, you wouldn't have been alive if this song hadn't been made." I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, what would Dad have said?" Your dad would have said, "You wouldn't have been alive if there hadn't been a ban on aborting rape babies." I think my dad likes that one the most. When I was young, my mother used to tell me, "Don't play with your food," which she really meant, "Don't play with my breasts," because we were sharing a chicken. I almost never laugh during my jokes, but I just wrote that earlier today, and I was like, "Oh fuck, my mom's gonna be here. I have to say that." True story. You see, this is an event about refugees, so I was trying to write some jokes about refugees, but they just weren't coming in. I like my burgers like I like my women, thick and juicy, and sometimes in bags in the freezer. In Mexico, soy sauce is very introspective. I am. First people to have six-packs were the Aboriginals. Someone told me, Drew, sluts don't get cold in the winter. But that's not true. Just ask the one in my freezer. A picture of a penis I will draw you for 25 cents. Hung, drawn, and quartered. Wrote that joke for me. My girlfriend she's a screamer, so in sex. It's kind of awkward for my housemates, you know, hearing her screaming. No! My uncle recently turned 40. They're like, yeah, he's over the hill, buried somewhere. You may have noticed by now that I'm obesely morbid. Depression suffers from me. I thought that daycare was for vampire children. That is a cute one. I was going to order a Syrian dog, but first I had to make sure that he was vetted. They say that beauty is more than skin deep, and in fact it is, if you sink her right. They say to know, or to write what you know. So. I had this robot friend that got in trouble. He was arrested for indecent exposure, a scrap robot. Why? Because he whipped out his junk. He's in prison, and, well, quite frankly, he got into anal sex. And so for his birthday, I got him a butt plug. Pretty cheesy, right? I recently went to my Vietnamese friend's barbecue. And I got kind of mad when I got there, because he had a dog on his grill. I said, dude, I told you you're a terrible driver. See, that's a perfect racist joke. You can tell that one to your family, since this is a Trump audience. They say that most accidents happen within 1 mile of your home. And within 1 mile of my mom's home, I was conceived. It's really hard to get advice on how to kill yourself. Everyone I ask is clearly bad at it. You ever thought about what happens after we die? The afterlife? Bleak nothingness? Necrophilia? Maybe some of you will finally get laid to rest. I met this suicidal grape with a foot fetish. He said, turn me into wine. Let that one sink in. This girl's weight went from 150 to 180 in 3 days. It's water weight. She was bloated, said the guy that found her body in the river. I'm just waiting for the day that, waiting. You got this new rape whistle? I found out that my girlfriend was a virgin, and I asked her, I said, well, are you ready to make that decision, that next step? And she said, well, you know, once we do it, there's no going back. I said, well, you ready? And she said, yeah. So I sacrificed her to save her. You didn't like that one, Mom? The other day I submitted my abstract. It's just a bunch of random shapes and colors. Last night I found out that my girlfriend had replaced all my pills with Skittles when I had the hugest sugar rush of my life. The other day, this kid was hilarious. He was pronouncing legumes wrong. He kept saying, legume. Do you think that Melania Trump might be a pedophile? When Donald finger bangs her, it's like being fingered by a child. Small hands. You ever gone mountain climbing and you have to share a rappelling line with someone else and they just start like talking incessantly and you just have to cut them off? You might be thinking, is this the kind of guy that might rape and murder me after the show? Don't worry, I can't multitask. You see, when I was young, my mother used to tell me, Drew, don't get a big head, if I was bragging about something. But nowadays, I think you would say, don't get a small head, because, you know, the Zika virus. You have to know that it causes microencephaly, which is babies with tiny heads. It doesn't look as cute as it sounds. You can take a moment to Google it if you want. Whenever I go out on a date with a girl just for sex, I don't talk, and I listen the entire time. I call it the vagina monologue. See, my girlfriend is super nice, and so I decided to write an insult for her to tell me. My boyfriend is in his 20s, but his penis makes me feel like I'm a pedophile. I told my girlfriend that I wanted her to be more animalistic. She threw a poop at me. Earlier I ejaculated and there was a bunch of blood everywhere. I thought I might have ruined the corpse. See, I have really conservative grandparents, and I like black metal. So I can't tell if they hate it because they think it's satanic, or because they think it's black. And I was supposed to see my grandpa for lunch earlier. My mom called me and she's like, Drew, Grandpa flaked. And I was like, what is that? Coming for old people? I actually had a black girlfriend. Well, after the house fire, I dumped her. I don't remember which river. Did you hear about that whore that took one to the head? She got a round. For the hitman, it was the money shot. Who would win in a fight? A Japanese person or a cockroach with regards to being irradiated? Wow. You can tell that one to your friends. You can let your white guilt seep in. Not you, Kyle. I made sure that joke marginalized you. I like to make animal noises during sex to remind my girlfriend of her family. She was raised by wolves. One time, a text message cost me $8,500, not including the charges from the vehicular manslaughter. When I was young, we used to say, if you step on a crack, Dad will beat you because that shit's expensive. Yesterday I put my hair in a pony, my pubic hair. in a pony. Some people have told me, Drew, watching you do comedy, you never know what's going to happen next. You never know what's going on. You never know what's going to come next. And I said, yeah, like a gangbang. That one put a nice visual in your mind. I can tell my mom liked that one. My girlfriend keeps getting pregnant. I told her to cut it out. She said, stop babying me. Do you ever kiss a girl and then you find out she has oral herpes? And then you also find out she's not a girl but a lizard person? And then you might have a dinosaur? That's right, I did kiss Hillary Clinton. There's a child rapist on the loose. We should try and get him home before his bedtime. The Invisible Man. His dad got a sex change and became his mom. And now the Invisible Man has a trans parent. This obese girl suffocated her boyfriend during sex. He couldn't get her off. I've got so much pubic hair that you can hardly see my penis. My girlfriend calls me Sasquatch. I try to send her dick pics, but they're always blurry. See, when I first met my girlfriend, she swept me off my feet and carried me away. She was 10 years older than me, and I was 12. You might ask, Drew, how does your girlfriend's pussy taste? Umami. You can tell that one would be a chemistry professor. Do you think that the Transformers abused cash for clunkers when getting money for their abortions? I guess you have to know what cash for clunkers is. My girlfriend asked me, Drew, have you ever eaten cactus? I said, no. I don't really like pricks in my mouth. But I'll tell you what, my girlfriend loves cactus. My girlfriend loves that joke. It's okay, I guess some of these are true. I'll end on this one. My sister's a cheap asshole. And by that, I mean $5 anal. Which explains why she has all my allowance money. Thank you.